Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Azi here. Welcome to the More Than a Pretty Face podcast. Hey, guys. It's Dr. Shirazi. I am back today with Lacie. Hey, Lacie. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I've been better. I'm so stressed out. We got new mics that we've been testing, and it only took us like 2 hours.
No big deal.
So, I'm just going to let it go. There's far worse things happening in the world these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's new? You've been missing in action, but I'm glad to see you back.
Yeah.
Do you have a beauty and blemish this week?
Of course. I don't even know how I want to start it. I guess I'll start with my blemish.
Okay.
Remy has babysitters now, and she's loving the interaction with others, and my babysitter called out today.
Oh, no.
Oh, so that's my blemish. But my beauty, I have to bring this up.
Okay.
This week, working together, I was cracking up, dying inside when I walked into the room and you wanted to self-video with your GoPro on your head. You had a head strap with your GoPro camera stuck to it as you're doing a procedure on someone, and I lost it. I couldn't. I definitely have a picture for you guys. So
did I? I don't remember that.
Picture it didn't happen, and I have proof.
Oh boy.
You won't go.
I got this present. You guys were so generous to get me a GoPro. Yeah. And for a while, of course, my kids, they steal it. Yeah. And recently I rediscovered it. And so that was a really cool case. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to present it. We're going to a meeting this weekend. So I was excited to record it. And it actually was working out pretty good, but you probably saw me. I was in my zone.
You were definitely in your zone. The camera wear looked good on you. It was just a shocker.
But for those of you guys who may not know, we always ask patient permission before we record. But the GoPro is a go. Yeah. I like it.
I love it. I love seeing you use it. How about you? What's your beauty and blemish?
Oh boy, I have been so accident prone this past week. I don't know what is the klutz cloud has been over me because I haven't had any, knock on wood, I haven't had any accidents or, tickets or anything lately. But last week I backed up into my friend's mailbox, broke my brake lights. And then yesterday I went to Vaughn's and I was pulling into this parking space. The parking spaces are so tight. In my defense, they are really tight. And so I pull in and I scrape this person's car all the way to the side.
No.
And it was so bad. I was like, oh my God, this is not good. And, my car is wrapped, my poor husband. And so, which means it has a coating, a film coating. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I left a note for this guy. This truck was so beat up, and I'm like, I'm hoping that he's not going to care.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
And so as I'm coming out of Vaughn's, he's there. He's putting his groceries in his truck, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir. Did you see my note? He's like, no. I'm like, I scraped the side of your car, and he's like, this whole thing has so many dents and scrapes. Don't even worry about it. And he was so sweet. He was like, these parking spaces are so tight. I'm like, yeah. They are. They are tight. I'm not a klutz. So I haven't told my husband. But my car looks so bad. It's got so many. But I tried to call the car dealer, and they're like, our first available is December 18th. I'm like,
he'll
what?
He'll see it before then.
What is going on? I can't believe they're booking out so far.
I mean, you're a great surgeon and a great dermatologist, but you cannot drive.
I'm not a good driver.
You cannot drive.
Thank God I don't have to drive that much. I mean, my daily commute is within 3 miles. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a blessing for me.
That was God working in mysterious ways.
So yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with the blemish this week. So my beauty is that we get to record a podcast together. We haven't recorded in a while, so I'm excited.
Me too.
So does Remy have a Halloween costume? Because it's coming up. I can't believe it.
I haven't really put much thought or effort into Halloween or her birthday this year, so I'm horrible. But I did find a costume. I bought it just because I thought, it was on sale. She can wear it next year. And she actually fits into it now. So she might be a vampire.
Not a princess, but a vampire.
Yeah, not a princess, but a vampire.
Well, I love our I loved our costume for the office last year. We were Botox dealers.
Yes.
So appropriate.
Yes, I loved it.
So, what are we getting into today?
Well, I was thinking that it would be important to discuss maybe a hot topic about some of the candy and Halloween.
Those fentanyl, have you guys seen that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's big. It's a big thing right now. I mean, it's so sad.
Unbelievable. I saw this nurse on social media that was like crying for help. She said that in the past 24 hours, they've had something like 3 deaths or 3 tragedies of kids getting this fentanyl laced candy. It literally looks like Skittles and Smart Tarts and, this colorful stuff, and it's lethal. Yeah. It's so potent. They're regular dyes and food coloring, but they're responsible for 80% of opioid deaths. And I heard that they're getting Narcan in vending machines. It's so bad. What are we doing to ourselves? What is this country coming to?
It's so sad. I mean, you said New York, but San Diego just had one not that long ago either. It was the largest one they had with fentanyl.
Yeah, it's really tragic. So guys, whether you're young and you're listening to this, whether you're older and have children, you're listening to this, talk to your kids about it. I've been sending the stories to my daughter and she's like, whoa, what are you talking about? What is fentanyl exactly?
I know. I was telling your daughter too, Halloween time, all the candy comes out. I know from just growing up in the inner city, what have you, we always dumped our candy out, checked the bags, made sure there was air still in them, make sure the boxes, everything was still sealed. Just obviously there are ways to get around that, but at least it's a step in prevention. So
100%. Yeah. So,
but you guys, before we move any further, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast, and make sure that you find us on social media. Screenshot this, share it with your friends. We always love to hear what you guys think and see your questions, and we appreciate you guys.
And I love how we're doing so many giveaways on the More Than a Pretty Face Instagram.
Yes.
Because I get so much skincare. It is virtually impossible to be able to go through any of it. So we are giving a lot of amazing skincare brands that I love. Versed Skincare. We are doing Mario Badescu. We've done lots of really great brands. So check it out.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Azi. With the holidays quickly approaching, what better time to start renewing your skin so you can put your best face forward at all the upcoming get-togethers. AziMD Skincare is offering 20% off our Lift and Renew serum to our podcast listeners only. Clinical studies show similar efficacy to prescription Retin-A, but without the irritation. It combines trans-retinol and a slow-release technology with bakuchiol and antioxidants, making it a powerful, science-backed anti-aging night serum. Lift and Renew is a multitasking serum to renew skin cells, improve skin texture, pores, fine lines, and discoloration for a brighter complexion. Take 20% off Lift and Renew serum at checkout on AziMDSkincare.com with code October20. I love to see your skincare transformations, so tag me in your posts on Instagram at Skin by Dr. Azi.
I thought it would be good to get into Halloween makeup because I'm getting a lot of questions from my followers about what to choose for Halloween makeup. What are the precautions? What do you suggest? So let's get into that.
I love that. It's the perfect time. My favorite costumes are makeup. When people go all out and really go to town, and the creativity. Oh my gosh.
But Halloween makeup can be more irritating than the usual makeup that we're used to putting on. And a lot of it has pretty toxic chemicals like formaldehyde, especially if it's really inexpensive or shipped from, China. You got to be careful because some of these makeup ingredients may be harmful or toxic, and you might get horrible reactions, the next day. You may not see it right away. So definitely always do a test spot before you do an entire face or an entire body
Please.
with this, because there are a lot of preservatives and ingredients in there that are not designed to be worn on a daily basis. And some of them are just not regulated either.
Right.
Nowadays you can sell anything online, and that's what we're doing now. A lot of people are ordering these makeup kits and may not realize that they could cause a reaction.
Right. And not just the makeup, but like the special effects, I'm sure, right? Like the waxes and the glues and the molds and...
Yeah, speaking of the waxes, so a lot of them have latex in them.
Yes.
And so latex allergy is huge, and it can actually be life-threatening if you have a severe latex allergy. And so those are common in the waxes and some of the heavier, things that may look like blood or may look, like flesh and some of the more scary costumes. So be really cautious. If you're worried about, the Halloween makeup causing a reaction, here are some tips that I have. I would first make sure your skin is very clean, because the last thing you want to do is pile on Halloween makeup, which tends to be thicker, it's supposed to be kind of longer wearing, that can trap bacteria and organisms that are on the skin that might be dirty. And definitely do not pull out last year's Halloween makeup.
What?
I know. Halloween makeup is one of those things that you're like, oh, I can use this next year.
Yeah.
They're not like Halloween decorations, okay? You're going to have to buy new makeup every year because it might have grown some mold, some bacteria, some things in there, storing that in your bathroom drawer for years or
several.
Or several. And as far as, cleansing, you want to make sure you have clean skin, and then use a moisturizer before you put this makeup on, a good cream.
Like a light one or like heavy, light? I would imagine light.
Yeah, light to medium, because what that does is it forms a protective layer between the makeup and your skin. So if you do have some sensitivity to some of the products, then that makes it a little bit harder for your skin to react. So make sure you use a good moisturizer as a barrier cream.
Good.
And then I personally would rather use theatrical makeup brands rather than like the ones that say for Halloween. They do tend to be a little bit more expensive, but the quality is better. They don't have as much of the ingredients that cause reactions. So theatrical makeup might be a better option.
I know whenever I see the Halloween branded makeup, I always think of like, not that it's cheap, but I do think of it being poor quality. Like you're going to throw it away anyways. It can't be that great of makeup. It can't be.
But honestly, some of these palettes from, more for some of the, makeup brands, NYX, some of them have pretty cool colors.
Yes.
And so you might just be able to use regular makeup instead of Halloween makeup. You just have to kind of buy some of the different shades that you normally don't wear. But that might be also a safer option, just because theatrical makeup or cosmeceuticals in the US are better regulated by the FDA than some of these, Halloween makeup. But who knows with the Halloween makeup? They may have been on the shelf for a while. They might be last year's and have been just sitting there. And some of them may not have preservatives, or again, might have, formaldehyde and some of these terrible things.
Yes.
What about the glow in the dark makeup? Did you ever use that?
I have. I mean, come on. You haven't?
No.
Tell me how bad it is, please.
So it's, the FDA approved luminescent, it's zinc sulfide in the early 2000s for cosmetic use. And that's what you want to look for in the luminescent glow makeup. Some of the other things may not be as regulated. So look for that. Look for that zinc sulfide that is cleared by the FDA. A lot of the makeup may have parabens in it, which, I'm not a huge anti-paraben person, but I know it's gotten a bad rap because of some poor studies. That's a whole other podcast episode.
Yes.
But if you do have paraben allergies, a lot of Halloween makeup has parabens just to keep it from growing organisms and so forth. So that's another ingredient to look for.
Yeah, so stores can sell it next year and the year after.
That's right. That's right. And then let's talk about what you're going to do at the end of the night, because
everyone wash your face.
Not just wash it. Okay. You have to do a triple cleanse.
Yeah, not double, triple.
Halloween makeup or theatrical makeup. It's so funny. I was at a party in LA with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, no big deal.
Throw that in there.
No big deal.
And, she was telling me about how that theatrical makeup, you're putting layers and layers and layers of it on, how after a long day, because I was like, oh my gosh, you've got beautiful skin. She's actually truly very beautiful. And she's like, that one thing I always did, and my mom, I have my mom to thank for this. She always made me triple cleanse, all that, makeup, stage makeup off, because that stuff is so heavy and can just stay on the skin. And so we talked about how so important to remove makeup at the end of the day, but more so when you're piling it on like you were doing for Halloween.
Yes.
So the last thing I'll say, though, is red dyes. So if there's a color like fake blood, you guys have to be careful with the red, because that generally is one that causes the most irritation, is the red, like anything that might be used for blood. So be really cautious. I've seen people make their own red dye for blood and other things by using food coloring, corn syrup, and flour. So that might be something to think about. I'm sure if you Google, have you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it hard to make?
No.
No? See, that's another option.
It's my go-to.
So, because a lot of that, if something is going to cause a reaction, it's usually one with something red. And same goes for tattoos, actually. We see the most reaction to red tattoos. And sometimes there's red dyes in with purple. So be cautious of the purple too. So am I leaving anything else?
No, I think that sounded amazing. And
you guys are going to be well prepared.
Everything.
And if you do get a reaction, let's say, even though you followed our tips and you still got a reaction, then you can use a product called Soothe HC. It's anti-inflammatory. It has aloe and a cortisone. It is available over the counter. I would apply it as soon as you see a rash or a reaction, and you want to use it 3 to 4 times a day. And within 3 days, that reaction should calm down. If it doesn't, then see your dermatologist. You can always check in with us for a photo consult, and we'll link that in the notes below.
Yeah.
All right, guys, don't be too spooky on this Halloween.
Be extra spooky.
Extra spooky. And make sure you follow us on More Than a Pretty Face podcast on Instagram, and send this to a friend who loves Halloween, because we know those types of people, the ones that love Halloween. We're pointing at Lacie. Guys, our podcast is now on YouTube. So if you enjoy listening to us and now you want to see us, you can check us out on Skin by Dr. Azi, my YouTube channel. We upload the podcast videos on there. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.